This is okay,
Yeah.
so this is where the real work is happening, yes?
Yes, yes. Now this is the dirty workshop, and we have quite a bit here. Now, not everything belongs to me because you know, I haven't been here in a while. I've been in the UK doing some events and builds, so there's some stuff that's new to me.
Yeah.
Like this thing.
What is that? It's like something from Judge Dredd.
I think it's called a Corbin Sparrow, and it's a three-wheeler, and it looks like a shoe. It literally looks like a shoe.
Which is the front?
I think that's the front, and this is the back.
I thought this was the front. So
Yeah, so that's the front. This is the back.
Two at the front, one at the back.
Yeah, and it's an EV, but it's not like a new EV. It has like some, yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
You can fit an adult in there. Wow, it actually looks like a shoe in there.
You're going to be abused in this, though, aren't you?
Yep. Oh, that's.
That might fall off.
No, you're good.
So what is it? Belt drive?
Yeah, belt drive. There's an EV motor right here. This big boy.
Wow, super low down.
Yeah,
So
and
you wouldn't want to Ferris Bueller this, would you?
No, I think this is also lead acid batteries, so just basically car batteries.
Okay.
So it's probably pretty heavy. But everything here, it looks like it's been, you know, it's been made on a lathe or something. Like, these brakes they're non-vented. It just.
This is not yours.
No. No.
You don't know. You don't know what it is really, and you don't know why it's here.
No.
I love that.
No, but it
interesting.
just showed up at my shop, and I'm like, this is really cool. I want to drive
Yeah,
it.
it's a shoe that you could go shopping in.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's happening in the roof there. It's like looks like some Astro. You could do some golf lessons.
Yeah, there's some AstroTurf on the roof.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, shoe car. I don't know.
All right. That's the shoe car.
But here's something
more,
I do know.
This is more you.
Yeah. So this is
Audi R8s. Yeah.
These are Audi R8s. This one is a 2014 Audi R8 V10 Plus, and this is a parts car because it got a bit of a shunt here, and you know, it's.
So some broken stuff.
A famous man once said there are some tolerances.
Yeah.
But this is a parts car for that car, which is my 2008 V8 car.
Oh, dude, but it's done. Don't you? When you look at this, you're like, oh look, it's only this piece, but actually that's more the integral chassis. It's done the windscreen.
The issue that happens with these cars, first of all, they're made of aluminum or aluminium, and they, you know, when you crash one of these cars, the energy doesn't just go into one part. It ripples down the car. So you might have creases in different areas. You might have things like this where, you know, now this is dented in, and then you'll have to replace the windscreen. You'll probably end up having to replace this entire, you know, A-pillar piece that's structural. And when it's aluminum, you have to, like, you can't just bend it back because it's lost all its strength.
Yeah.
So you have to cut off where the bad aluminum is, and then you have to weld on just like they would at the factory. And sometimes that's just not cost effective because at this point you have to weld on past here, which means that you have to replace the entire front end, and that doesn't make any sense.
Right, so that's bent. So what, you're gonna have to chop that somewhere, and then.
Well, I mean,
weld it?
not real. Yeah, like if you wanted to save this, but I don't want to save this. So.
All right, so this is gonna be donor.
Yeah, this is a complete donor car, because we have that car, which is the 2008 V8 car.
Okay.
And this has had no accidents, but it just had the unfortunate accident from birth of having a V8 and a garbage transmission. It had the I believe the R-tronic, or I can't remember if it's the R-tronic or S-tronic. That was a single clutch.
Yeah.
But this one has a dual clutch.
Somebody has had some fun in this. You can see the wear on the tire. The rear tires are bald.
Yes. I mean, they're.
So somebody ran out of cash and then they've sold it.
Absolutely. So this car also came to us non-running. It was a South Florida car, and South Florida is where cars go to die. So, you know, it had a really stupid wing on it.
Sorry, what does that mean? Other than Katrina and stuff, what's the...
South Florida is where a lot of, let's say, unscrupulous people, they modify and they repair cars in very bad ways.
Right.
And you have expensive cars that probably shouldn't be owned by anybody that, like, they don't have the money to maintain expensive cars.
Yeah.
So they go and dump them in South Florida.
So these are finance projects gone wrong.
Yeah, so it's a lot of cut and shut jobs, you know, that sort of thing. So this car had some paint work that was really dodgy. It had a stupid wing on it. It had some engine work done by people who have never seen an engine before.
Right.
Yeah. So
the engine, what's the engine like in this thing? Dead?
Yeah, no, it was dead. So we took it out.
So tuned badly, blown up, or just damaged internally.
So it was, I believe they tried to change something in the timing components, and they didn't time it right, so the engine never ran.
Yeah.
So now
vigorously over a speed bump.
Yes, over many. You got that. Yeah, it's good. I mean, somebody was excited to get this car when it was new. You know, it was a nice car, and then somebody just ran it into the ground.
And then wished they'd had a V10 up the power, and it's dead.
That's why I got this.
In this goes.
Yeah, so this is 550 horsepower V10. This is a V10 Plus, so it's essentially what the Lamborghini Huracan is with the dual clutch. So we're gonna slap that in there, and there's gonna be a modern driving running car.
Yeah.
And it'll be great.
How many of you are working on this? I mean, I've looked at seen you got that spaghettified loom you're dealing with, which is just hell, my idea of hell. But there's this. So how many of you are in the shop?
So it's me, Jack, and Rex.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got 3 people, and honestly, we just get it done. We just for me, it's all these are problems that need to be solved.
Yeah.
And it's a fun thing for me to do because I love working on cars. So it's just my dream job every day.
All right. What else? Hang on. What? That I reckon this also looks familiar.
Yes. So we should go over here.
That's a Noble, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the back end of a Noble, and that is the chassis of a Noble.
Yeah.
And this is my friend Jack's. So this is again, his channel's called Jack Builds It, and
this is a million pieces.
It is a million pieces because we had 2 Nobles. So I bought a fire damaged Noble M12 GTO 3R, and then I bought a parts car Noble M400. And he essentially grafted on the usable part because M400 had some crash damage. And the M12 had it was just fire damaged, but it was only fire damage up to here, and thankfully the M400 was crash damage here. So he grafted on this entire piece. So you can see the new welding here, like right here. We did everything as per. There's not really a factory standard, but like we tried to make it look like nothing ever happened.
Okay.
And he's really meticulous with making sure everything measures out perfectly. And he's also doing some really crazy stuff. So he just did some body work here. He's doing a wide body with some carbon flares and like a carbon floor, maybe a sequential shifter, a single turbo. It's going to be an insane car.
So which engine's going in this one? Sorry.
So this is originally had a Ford Mondeo ST220 V6 with twin turbos.
Is that what powered this?
Yes.
I never realised.
Yeah.
So I drove this on Top Gear, and actually also Simon Cowell was there that day, so I taught him in the Suzuki.
Oh, really?
And they said, let him have I took him for a ride in this, and they drift and slide, but it's really edgy.
Yes.
But it happens fast. The turbo kicks in and you get loads of speed. So I did a pretty good job. And then they said, let him have a go, which is always a mistake.
Yes.
Having shown him what it could do.
Right. And
he's a really good mimic, and he mimicked. He got through the first corner sideways.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to get him to stop. Anyway, he got to follow through. The really fast one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, Matt Armstrong's just released his video in his Porsche.
Yeah.
He did exactly that.
Yeah, he Simon Cowelled it, yeah.
I think we took out a landing light though. Anyway, he pinged it through there. And it was really early on in my time. I just thought this will get me fired for sure. But he was 130 mile an hour going off. It was mad.
130.
He was going so quick.
So he was cooking it. He didn't lift at all, did he?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
as per Matt. Someone said on the video you could do the follow through flat. It's like no one ever said that.
Not in a fast car.
No.
Yeah.
The only
you can do it fast in the Liana.
In the Suzuki.
Yeah.
Doing like 90 if you're lucky, and it goes 90 and it bleeds down to 85. Anyway, so I know this car well. They're really fun. They're a lot of fun. But still, again, you've got one that was on fire.
Yeah.
Which was not this one.
No, not this one.
Okay.
Because when you have a fire, that's when you have structural rigidity issues.
Yeah.
The metal becomes
useless to you, really. The other one.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, it's just in pieces now, and it's just getting picked up. But the metal starts getting work hardened, and like it never has its strength. So the stuff that wasn't fire damaged, now it has a new lease on life, and now this should be as strong, if not stronger than the original. But that's Jack's project. I have this Mazda RX-7 that's I use that for car trek. I think these are the most beautiful Japanese cars ever made. Like just in terms of
style. That's a strong, very strong statement.
This one isn't. This one is made in. We got it from a guy who imports cars, and this has a style called Itasha, and Itasha literally means cringe.
Right.
It's like a painful,
bespoke Japanese word.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do is I like this car a lot. So we're going to turn it completely, back to stock, like maybe OEM plus.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe like a red or something like that. taking all the stupid body kit off, like, or doing something a little bit more, you know, maybe modernizing it a little bit, but keeping within the theme of, you know, stock. Because I love the way these cars look.
Interesting.
I hate rotaries.
And you think this is better looking than a Honda NSX?
Yes. Yes. You know why? Because a Honda NSX, there's it's very of its time.
Yep.
This car, because it has every line here is sculpted, there are no straight edges. It looks timeless.
Okay.
So it's very unclear which, you know, what decade this was from. The NSX is very of its time.
So you feel it's dated a little bit?
Yeah, and especially the late model NSXs, when they put those lights in, you just feel like they slapped those in. It felt like a little bit of an afterthought.
All right, interesting. All right, look, that'd be really cool to see when it's back in its original state.
Absolutely.
All right, what's going on over there?
Okay, so quick, we'll do a
scary mess.
Yeah, we'll do a real you know, lightning round here. So this is my friend Tommy's car. I'm a cameraman. This is actually a SEMA car. It's an RX-8 that made the most amount of horsepower for these engines. So I think has a gigantic turbo, but it made like 420 horsepower at the wheels, which is actually a lot for this engine. It has the Renesas 13B something or other. It's a 2-rotor. It's a 1.3 liter, but you know, rotaries, they're garbage. So he loves that car. It's an amazing car when it runs, and when it runs, it smokes out the shop. But it's a cool thing nonetheless, and I can't wait to have him finish that. We have a Honda Beat, which is very similar to the AutoZam AZ1, so this is also a K car. It is non-turbo, so it has a 3-cylinder with ITBs. It's rear-wheel drive, mid-engine, and it's a cool little, you know, it's 5-speed.
You like that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's fantastic. No sway bars, so it's like, you know, it's roly-poly.
You and Mike Fernie would get on well.
Oh yeah,
He loves these small cars, but I have to say, sorry, but he has the sense to not have a convertible version, because in your case, people will see you driving this. So whereas in his, you can hide inside it.
So here's the thing. I don't know if it's an English thing, or if it's like, you know, you guys are really concerned about people seeing you in cars that you shouldn't be in.
1000%.
Yeah, but like you can just be secure in yourself, and you can enjoy a car. You know, like if that car was hot pink, I would still drive it. You know?
Do you choose your own clothes?
I do.
Why? If you don't care what you look like? The same with this. Why would you go around in that?
No, but I do. But I dress in black and blue.
You dress sharp. He dresses sharp.
No.
And then you would get in this and you'd look like a pillock.
No, I would look like a connoisseur. Because people who know what this car is, they go, "Oh my God, is that a little Barbie car?"
I would beep my horn at you.
Oh, good. I hope so.
Give you some hand gestures.
Yes, but no, I love this car. I actually do like convertibles, but
I can see you love it. It's covered in dust and it's in the corner.
Yes,
right.
That's.
What else have you got?
So we have my Lamborghini Gallardo. It's a twin turbo, has a built engine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it is a convertible, which I'm not a fan of convertibles on this platform, but it is a manual. So it has a gated manual, and it should make up to 1,600 horsepower, but it needs to be tuned. It needs a lot of stuff, so that's why it's in the project pile.
Gotcha. So you're cautious about, like you were saying, you've said you can put the power through it. A lot of ECU change, you can tune it, but then you need to make sure the internals can keep up.
Well, yeah, the internals, I mean, the engine has been gone through, but they've been gone through before I bought it, so I don't know who built it. So I don't know to what standard they built it, so who knows what the engine has in it.
What do you think about this trend of showing your junk at the back of the car?
So I sort of did that in this just because it didn't fit. So
exhaust turbo.
Yeah, like I opened it up a little bit, but I still have the bumper on there.
It's kind of like following a cyclist with a light crow. You can see everything.
Yeah, you can. But like I think it's interesting in terms of like if you see a P1, and in the P1 it just has mesh, so you can see all the inner workings of it. Or if you look at like a Le Mans car, you know, and you look in the back of it, it's all open. It's sort of the same thing.
You're gaslighting me.
I am gaslighting you because I know you like race cars.
I like race cars, but
this is basically a race car.
Okay, I can't see the back. I'm gonna have to go around and check it out.
Yeah.
I find it perturbing that there's stuff's out there like that. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is a bit like showing your junk. But you know, I can see it your way. But if it's a bit hot boy, you're shooting flames out. I mean, it's a crazy car. And underneath it is a BMW E46 M3. I mean, that's the yardstick. So we have done a lot to this car. It used to be a theft recovery. It was black, so we made it techno violet, and then we added a carbon roof.
So they caught him.
Was that?
They caught him.
They caught him, yeah. and added a carbon roof. We did a manual conversion. The engine's out of it because it needs to be, overhauled. Gonna add coilovers and carbon fiber intake plenum and a bunch of stuff. So I want this to be like the ultimate M3, even though I got it for like $6,000.
Yeah.
And it definitely does not deserve this because I have 200,000 miles. So I just decided to say, like, what if I made the ultimate version of this thing? But it just, yeah, I don't know what this thing's worth. Probably not worth what I'm putting into it, but it's a cool car.
I love the way you've got every genre of car.
Yeah.
Pretty much in your collection, and your the P1 thing is like hypercar is going to be it's going to be amazing when it's done. What do you think is the all genres? But I mean, let's say a cutoff is 70s to now. The ultimate best hypercar of all time.
I mean, for me, it has to be the McLaren F1, followed closely by the Jaguar XJ220. Now, I have driven an XJ220, and they drive like garbage. They drive like absolute crap, but they are so striking. They are unlike anything else. It looks very contemporary. It doesn't look like it was made in the late 80s, early 90s. McLaren F1 is just, that's the ultimate NA car. It's still the fastest naturally aspirated car in the world. Gordon Murray is still trying to, like, I don't know if Gordon's watching this. If you are, I
bet he is.
I'm a very, very big fan of your design and everything, but I think he's still trying to go for that goal. Like, it was such a giant milestone for cars, and he's, I think he's still trying to, capture that in his new T33 and T50. So it's, that's a car that I got to drive in. I was a passenger in. I didn't want to drive it because it's $20 million, and I don't trust myself that much.
Yep.
So that's kind of my money no object dream car. But then you have the more contemporary ones, which is like the Veyron. Yeah. It's a super significant car. And I think now, with all of these hypercars coming out, they're coming out every 5 seconds. They're not as significant as they were. I think the P1 is probably the last significant car that came out of McLaren. Senna's cool, but after the Senna, there was a Senna GTR and the Sabre, and then the blah blah.
Senna is really a handful.
It is, but it's not a pretty car.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's sort of weird. The wing is high.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's cool. It's cool in terms of like a science project.
Yeah.
But I think the P1 is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think, just in terms of the press that it got from Top Gear and Grand Tour and all that, like, that's something that people in their minds already associate with, like, this is the pinnacle of what we can achieve in the car.
Crazy thing for me, I've driven so many cars, and the irony for me is I have never driven any of the three in the Holy Trinity, the P1, the Ferrari, and the Porsche. So, which is weird.
When we do the run, I think I should probably get a stock P1, so you drive that first.
That'd be mega.
Yeah, if you drive that first and you go, oh, this is good, and then you get in mine, I'm like, wow, this is, he broke this. He did a terrible job.
I'll be an honest judge.
Yeah,
whether we put it on camera, I would love to. I think from one thing I've learned from spending time with you and seeing what you do here is you have deep understanding, and also you phone for help. Like, you're engaged with the experts in each field. So I'm sure.
I try to. Yeah. We're not just slapping cars together. If I don't know something, I need to talk to somebody who does. Yeah. So when we do testing for the P1, we're definitely going to put it into a wind tunnel. I'm going to talk to F1 Elvis, who was the McLaren F1 lead tech, and he definitely knows about aero and tweaking things. And like, so I think having those people on my side, in my corner, I think we're gonna do some great things.
We're gonna smash it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And and since you don't have the P1, could I maybe take the 675 for a little run?
Absolutely.
Please.
Oh yeah.
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 Sweet. All right. Freddy Tavarish, absolute legend. Follow his channel. There's always something happening. You can see how busy this man is, and what his output is just off the charts. Stay tuned for more action, and I'll try not to crash your car.
And if anybody is watching this video and not subscribed to him right now, this is a call to action. Definitely hit that subscribe button, because he has amazing content on this channel.
Thanks, Fred. How much is that? $100?
Yeah, it's 100.
I've only got pounds.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll take it.
Credit card there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.